It's about time that I make one long video answering all the questions that you guys ask. I make watercolor paint using specialty pigments. This is watercolor binder. It's made mostly of gum arabic and distilled water. I'm using a palette knife here to mix in the pigment and the binder. Most of the pigments that I use are approved for cosmetic use and can be used in resin. I just don't list them in my shop because it's really difficult to keep track of inventory. But if you message me, I'd be happy to sell you some. A lot of people also ask what this is used for, and you use it basically however you would any other watercolor paint. Personally, I use it for hand lettering and calligraphy. This paint can double as ink for your dip pens. I recently made a video on how to do that. This next tool that I'm going to use is a muller. A lot of people ask me about it. It's just a glass tool designed to help break down the pigment and integrate it into the paint. I don't need to use it all the time because my palette knife works perfectly fine for the kind of pigments that I use, but I know that a lot of you guys like it, so I try to include it in some videos. When I'm done mixing the paint, I scrape as much as I can off of the muller and get all the paint together in a little pile. I get asked a lot what I do with the paint when I'm done mixing it, and I sell it. I have an Etsy shop called Dreamland Watercolor if you want to check it out. There's a link to it in my bio. I'm also having a Black Friday sale. The next step is to pour the paint into different watercolor pans. Each pan gets a few different layers because it shrinks when it dries. The whole process takes a few weeks so the paints are dry enough to be shipped, and I'm making samples here. To clean up, I spray my surface down with water and use a paint scraper to make it easier to wipe down. I'll show you a swatch next so you can see what it looks like on paper, wet and dry. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if there's any other questions that I didn't answer and I might be able to make a part 2.